Hey, welcome back. It's Back to the Basics. I'm Sean Barr, and at Looking Point, we help IT organizations make decisions around collaboration, security, and networking. Today, we're talking about stateful inspection and how it works. Just going over the basics. Let's go! Alright, we're back and we are talking stateful inspection. We got a lot of comments on our original stateful inspection video, so we're doing it with a whiteboard to give you some additional context to make it a little bit more simple to understand. So this is it. So we've got a basic network diagram here with an internal host, a firewall, and the internet, and a web server. So essentially we've got a host here with the IP address 10.1.10.10, and we've got a firewall here. We've got a PAT source, which we're not really going to talk about the NAT aspect of it. We're going to stay strictly focused on stateful inspection and just talk through how that's set up and what it actually does. Then we go out to the internet, which we've got an IP of 64.1.1.1.0, we've got a gateway of .1, and we've got a web server of 1.1.1.1.41s. So let's talk about a session. We're going to set up a web session to a server. And before we actually jump into that, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, which is stateful inspection. So with firewalls, we've got an access list that on the inside of the interface that says, hey, any traffic going from the inside to the outside, we're going to allow it. However, on the outside, because there's just a host here, we're going to say allow nothing to initiate connections into us. Well, if we have that configured and working on a firewall and we connect out to the internet and without stateful inspection, when this host tries to connect back to the host for that return traffic, it would get dropped at the firewall. So that's where we need stateful inspection. Stateful inspection dynamically builds rules to allow the return traffic to come back to us. So let's step through it. So as host 10.1.10.10 connects to 1.1.1.1, it's going to build a session. So that session is going to look like this. We're going to have a source of 10.1.10.10 with a source port of something over 1024. So I'm just going to say source port of 2000. And this is TCP, so it's going to be initiating a send connection to start a TCP session. That's going to be connected to 1.1.1.1 on port 80. Now, how it got to this level of IP address, and hey, there was a host name and we did a DNS lookup. We've done videos about that whole process of looking up a host, getting the IP address. We've talked even about the basics of hop-based decisions, routing, MAC addresses, all of that stuff is covered in other videos. So we're just going to stay very focused on building a stateful inspection table. So here we go. So this is the connection. Source 10.1.10.10, source port 2000, destination 1.1.1.1, destination port 80, which is web services. The firewall knows that since this is a send connection, a TCP connection, it's going to automatically accept or build a rule to accept the traffic from the web server coming back to the host. So it's going to build on the outside interface here a rule that says allow the source of 1.1.1.1 with a source port of 80 connecting to 10.1.10.10 with a destination port of 2000. So essentially it's building, this is the return traffic. This is the return traffic, and it's building that ACL on the outside interface of the firewall. So when this host connects out to the web server, it says, hey, I know that this is going to be coming back in reverse. It builds a dynamic rule that says, hey, allow this source into 10.1.10.10, destination port 2000, and we've got traffic flowing. This is a basic example of how stateful inspection works. Obviously, there's NAT and other things at play here, but this covers the principles of dynamic stateful inspection and how those ACLs work. So that's it. If I said anything in this video that you're like, hey, I'd love to know more about that, leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can get all of our content as we release it, and we will see you on the next Back to the Basics. Thanks for watching.